are live on a Saturday morning. What is going on, good people of YouTube? It is me, Chavez. I am back. You are back. Together we are back for another day, another live stream here on the channel. As I set this music at a reasonable volume. As always, I hope this content, this stream finds you doing well and in good spirits. I hope your Friday went well. Hope your weekend's off to a good start. Hoping I can add a little value, a little positivity to your weekend. Second week in a row doing a stream on Saturday. Typically, well, I shouldn't say typically, but before we weren't running live streams on Saturday, but I've been taking Thursdays off. Nice little break in the middle of the week, and it helps me reset and get ready for the weekend. So I think that's a good balance for me. And it also keeps me in touch with everything over the weekend. So it's a kind of win-win situation. So we got player props to talk about today. We got NBA games, March Madness to talk about today. We'll go over player props, your questions. We'll go through all that. We'll go over turds of the day, plays of the day, injury news. Yeah, let's have fun. Let's have fun for the next hour or so. Let's get this going, ladies and gentlemen, as I skip through the slides and I hit you with this fact. I wonder if it's still 10% because this is according to 2017. I wonder since 2017 has this increased to over 10%, but a minimum of 10% of the U.S. population dies in their sleep. I don't know why. They just do. Maybe foul play, maybe old age, maybe natural causes, but they're not here today. And you're on the other side of the 10%. So you are hashtag blessed, as I always say. Value the day accordingly. Apparently it's not just given to us. So I feel good that you are on the other side of that. Very morbid start to the stream, but if you're not new to the channel, then you know how we started off. If you are new to the channel, hit that like button on your way in. Hit the like button anyway. But if you're new to the channel, we start off every live stream with death and turds. That's how we roll. Turds of the day. What player props spoiled your day, stole your sunshine? Who was that player for you that kept you from 25xing, 10xing, whatever? Throw them in the chat and we'll commiserate together. What is going on, Knuckles? Good morning. Carrie, good morning to you. Y'all got any turds for today? The barista at Starbucks is a turd. He filled my damn coffee full of half and half. That shit's more like full and full. Just a little bit of half and half, I said. Just pour the whole damn carton in there. I'm gonna drink it anyway. I think my turd, honestly, was Paul George. Took the under on Paul George points yesterday in a couple of slips. It didn't look good. He had 20 points at the half, and I was just hoping and praying that somebody else would score some points in the second half. Then it'd get out of hand, and then he'd sit. He scored 30 plus, so that kind of messed it all up for me. But I still managed to profit. A couple of double ups. My two picks did okay. D'Angelo Russell, my play of the day, came through. Wyatt Johnston did not come through on the shots on goal. But outside of Paul George, not a whole lot. I mean, yesterday was a pretty fun day, especially with March Madness. A lot of value on the board. Still a lot of value on the board today with March Madness. What's going on? Robert Higgins, welcome into the stream. Turd of the day, Ghosty. Is that a CS2 League of Legends? Absolutely. Absolutely. I know a couple people in the chat or in the stream had really good days. If one player messes up your slip, you should still be in good shape, right? The profit, you get the double up for sure. But sometimes it's like if you run a 2-pick and you miss out on one, those are the tough ones because you can't profit. 2 picks are just straight up. You got to win both of them. So there is no. I think HOTSTREAK does the. I don't know what it's called, but they allow you to lose 1 out of 2 and you still get something for it, but the payouts are really low. So I think you're better off just playing a 2-pick over on Underdog or PrizePicks or anywhere else and trying to 3x your money. Champagne points, man. I didn't look. Oh, were they at 5.5? I didn't look at his points I didn't look at too many Spurs yesterday, except for Jeremy Sohan's rebounds on the under. He had 9. I think he finished with. He had like 6 at the end of the half. I was like, this is no good. He's getting over that shit. Robert says close on white points. Oh yeah, great call on CJ McCollum. Yeah, we talked about CJ McCollum yesterday. We were looking at Zion's points without Brandon Ingram, and we saw that actually he does play better with Brandon Ingram. The sample size was pretty good, but CJ McCollum really benefits without Brandon Ingram. And we looked at his game log, so I said, pivot. If you want to pivot from Zion to CJ, he's probably going to be in a better spot. I didn't predict anything, but he ended up having a pretty decent game. I think he scored, 20 points yesterday? That game against the Heat was supposed to be 30, score 30 points. Holy shit. He hit his PRA with just points alone. That game against the Heat was supposed to be a tough matchup. They won by 30. 23. My math is way off today. 30. Yep. Holy shit. Who else had a good game? Jaylen Brown. Damian in the Discord yesterday. We talked about Jason Tatum probably sitting on the stream. We were looking at. Oh, I was looking at his first half PRA, but we were talking about the difference between his full game and halves. But I said there's a chance that somebody sits, and he ended up sitting, and then Jaylen Brown was on the board for a few minutes before they took him off and bumped it. And then Damian sent a alert out to everybody, letting them know, get this in your slip because it's going to move. Jaylen Brown had a really good game, 33 points. That's over PRA and everything with just points alone. Derek White had a strong game, almost another triple-double for him. Cade Cunningham was kind of a turd yesterday. Took the over on his points in a few different places, and he scored 15. Just that dude's a magician. Nobody, maybe Tatum, but nobody disappears better than Cade Cunningham. Not even Chris Angel. Not even David Blaine. Like, nobody disappears better than Cade Cunningham. Yeah, he was kind of a turd yesterday. Jalen Suggs, points, Beal assist. Tamika, what's going on? Good morning. All right. Enough turd talk today. We got turds out the way. I feel like everybody had a pretty good day yesterday. Not too many bad losses. Let's minimize the losses, maximize the profit. Let's talk about some injury news right now in the NBA. Super important to understand injury news. So right now we got OG, who's already ruled out. We got Lauri Markkanen, already ruled out. Okongwu is doubtful. And then we know Nurkic, Kobe White, Caruso, and DSJ are all probable. And then your questionables are headlined by Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, Poole, Collins, Vesenkov, Gary Harris, Josh Okogie. If John Collins sits today, fire up Taylor Hendricks, Walker Kessler maybe. That will be interesting, that front court without both of those guys in the front court. And then in Denver, if Jokic and Murray sit, which is highly probable because of this matchup with the Portland Trail Blazers, they probably have enough with Gordon, KCP, Michael Porter Jr., I don't know, Christian Brown, whoever, to win that game. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some Nuggets sit today on a Saturday. We always talk about Saturdays being weird, the weekends being weird in the NBA. There's a lot of I don't give a fuck going on the weekends. So players will rest, players will sit. Just be careful with your slips. Make sure you're up to speed on all that injury news. But as of now, this is what we got going on for injury news. And we move on. And we move on to our plays for today. Now, we talk play prize picks, underdog, wherever you want to play. You let me know. We'll research it. We'll break it down. We'll make a case for it. You can play it. You can tell whatever you want to do with the information, but we'll provide it for you. I know we talk a lot about prize picks, but there are a lot of other pick'em sites out there. So I always talk about playing on multiple pick'em sites and shopping for the best lines. We'll take a look at Odd Shopper today also and see what they got popping in terms of their lines. But per usual, all our researching is brought to you by props.cash. If you have any interest in using props.cash for your own researching needs, use my code. Sign up. That'll get you 25% off your first month. If you have any questions about that, just let me know. Pretty straightforward though. And we move on to the PrizePicks dashboard. We will pull this up and we will see what is going on with player props today. What is going on? ATM, good morning to you. Robert says, I'm done with Detroit this year. Detroit is done with Detroit this year, Robert. Detroit, the city of Detroit is probably done with Detroit this year. Monty Williams is like, how the hell did I go from an NBA championship contender with 2-3 future Hall of Famers on this team to this shit? Where you got a guy like Cade Cunningham who is telling his coach, I don't want to play the fourth quarter. Let Marcus Sasser finish the game. He deserves it. He deserves it. You're the number one damn pick in the draft. Yeah. Detroit is a mess. That shit sounds nice. It honestly sounds nice, but Kobe Bryant would never do that shit. Michael Jordan never do that shit, man. Shaq would never do that shit. Name all the great NBA players. None of them would be like, oh, let him play instead. Get out of here with that, man. Get out of here with that. All right. Rant over. Let's do this. Let's talk NBA player props. I posted 2 slips in the Discord already. My cheat sheet is available in the Discord. A few other slips from other members of the Discord are up. If you want to tell, the links are provided in the Discord. If you just want to pick and choose from the slips, you got tons of information in the Discord. But we're going to talk player props, your questions. We'll break them down together. So let me just scroll through the chat and let me just ensure that I don't miss anybody's player prop questions. I think Tamika was the first one to throw a name in the chat. Jalen Suggs points, Beal assists. So let's pull up Beal's assists. It is a top play on the board in terms of popularity. And then we'll look at Jalen Suggs over points at 12.5. DeJounte Murray under PA. Yes. Was it you, Carrie, that posted this in the Discord? Somebody, or was it Damien? Someone already posted their thoughts on DeJounte Murray's PA. We're gonna look at this on price. We're gonna look at this on props.cash, but it is it's in a good spot in spite of this matchup with Charlotte, which is a really favorable matchup. You might be surprised at what the info says, what the data says. Dante over rebounds and assists, and Mikal over rebounds. Dante DiVincenzo over rebounds and assists. What is he at, 10? Did they take him off the board? They took him off the board. On PrizePicks, at least, they took him off the board. Are you playing on underdog? ATM? Ah, knew it. This is a great example of Dante DiVincenzo, 7 rebounds and assists. That is available on Underdog, but it is not available on PrizePicks. In fact, PrizePicks doesn't even have DiVincenzo's assist. They only have his rebound. So see how limited this board is. Underdog has a total of 15 player props for DiVincenzo. 3, 6, 9, 12 compared to 12. Yeah, we can still look at this. What I'll do is I'll just put his rebounds on the screen here, and then we'll look at his rebounds and assists when we head over to Props.cash. What's going on, Adam? Good morning to you. Happy Saturday. It is a happy Saturday. I feel good today. Mikal Bridges over rebounds. All right. What's going on, La Liga? Monk under 4 assists. DJ Burns Jr. Let me just throw this on the screen. DJ Burns Jr. under. Juju Watkins points. Okay. That's your slip. Gotcha. DiVincenzo 4.5 rebounds on the Underdog. Is that what you're saying, ATM? Or Mikal? Is Mikal at 4.5 on Underdog? Yeah. Mikal Bridges is at 4.5 rebounds on Underdog. It's 5 on PrizePicks. So there's another great example of just being able to shop different lines and compare. Play them both on the over if you want, but you have a better shot at getting the over on the Underdog. All right. Real quick, I just want to share this quick thought with you all. I shared this in the Discord already, but there are some really inflated lines right now for Toronto. We know RJ Barrett is out because of his brother's death. There's no timetable on his return. But if Emmanuel Quickley's back today and Gary Trent, they're both back in the lineup today, the lines for Olynyk, Grady Dick, and Ochai Agbaji are way inflated, super overrepresented in the market, like way too much juice on these plays. It's basically because of their performance last game. They all went off, but their whole lineup was out. Their whole starting 5 was out. So these guys got tons of run. If their lineup is, back to what we've seen in the past, the unders on these plays look really good. Kelly Olynyk under 29.5 PRA. Grady Dick under 22.5 PRA. Agbaji under 19.5 PRA. Agbaji does scare me a little bit, but he does get his fantasy points through a lot of steals and blocks. So if you want to go over on one of his props, I think his fantasy score would be in play. But usage is going to get soaked up by Quickley and Gary Trent. If they're not back today, then you could take your chance on those plays. I've already thrown those in a slip, and if the lineup goes back to the normal lineup, I think they're in good place for the under. If Quickley and Trent get ruled out again, then that lineup is sunk. But I'm willing to risk that because I just think these lines are way, way inflated today. And I don't see any Raptors on the injury report. So right now it's looking good. All right. Similar opinion, similar thought process to what we talked about with Jason Tatum yesterday, sitting out. Who is going to step up? Let's jump on those lines before we get the news. If you're waiting for the news, then you're too late. Just be one step ahead. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. But if you're right, you're going to make money. You're going to make more money if you're right than lose if you're wrong, period. All right, props.cash. Let's do this shit. We got 6 player props to break down. Who can we group together here? DeJounte Murray just got bumped down from 35.5 to 34. That's been on the board for like 5 hours. So not surprised about that. All right, DiVincenzo and Mikal Bridges. I think that's the first game on the slate today. So we're gonna look at DiVincenzo's rebounds and assists, and we can look at Mikal Bridges' rebounds. All right, so DiVincenzo's at 7 on underdog. So disregard the 7.5 that you see right now, because that is not the right line. Underdog is giving you a very favorable line. He is projected for 7.42, so that's like rounded down to 7. But when we look at his game logs here, there are a lot of games where he clears 7, not even a sweat. When we look at his game logs versus Brooklyn, 2 games this season, 1 over, 1 under. The odds are not in favor of 7.5, but you're getting it at 7 on underdog, which is a very good value. This one is in play. If you want to look at just one of his lines, 3-pointers made on PrizePicks, I believe it is 2.5. Not 3.5. 3.5 is his demon. We all got demons. Dante DiVincenzo. So on underdog, it is 3.5, which is a big number for him. He is projected for 4, but the odds don't really like that at all. I think his rebounds and assists are definitely in play on underdog. I don't know where else you can find it at 7.5 without adjusting the lines, but 7.5 looks good to me for DiVincenzo. His assists could be in play. You're getting great odds here, but I believe on PrizePicks they've nerfed this to a goblin, so you won't get full payout on this one. But when you see this number here at 138, that's telling you that this line is too low. He's probably projected closer to 4 with odds like that. And if he's projected for 4 rebounds in that range, right there you see 4 rebounds, then all he needs is 3 assists. If he gets you any more than 3 assists, then that's a clear over. So I think the 7 rebounds and assists is definitely in play. Let's look at Mikal Bridges' rebounds at 4.5. 4.5 on underdog, 5 on PrizePicks. That is delicious. All right. So this dude is projected for basically 5 rebounds on a 4.5 rebound line. FanDuel, DraftKings, all these books like the over. I mean, look at some of this shit. This shit is going to get bumped up before we end the stream. This will be bumped up to 5 on underdog. So if you are playing on underdog, maybe throw this in a 3-pick and go for the 6X. But he's gone over this line in 60% of his last 5 and 10 games, and against the New York, I almost said Rangers, the New York Knicks. Bridges has been over in 4 of these games, but these 2 are this season. So 2 games this year, 2 overs. So 100% hit rate this season. It's a good spot. It's a good spot for Bridges. All right. Let's move on. We were going to look at Bradley Beal's assist. That was one of the first lines that we threw on the board. 5.5 assists. That is the most popular play on PrizePicks. So if you have a theory around popular plays, like they chalk or they sell, then you'll probably want to stay away from this one, especially after you see his game log. If you know anything about like regression, positive regression, anything like that, we know that players tend to play over their heads for a period of time. It's called a hot streak. And at some point, that shit comes crashing down. So if you believe that this is going to end, then you're just going to stay away from this prop. But we're going to look at the numbers anyway, because it's in a good spot. 5 straight games of 7 or more assists. He's gone over this in 8 out of his last 10. 100% hit rate over his last 5, where he's averaging 7. His numbers against San Antonio, no games this season as a Sun. So we move on. The matchup with San Antonio is prime. They are bottom of the league in pretty much all these categories. When you look at his projection, he is projected for 7. FanDuel likes the over. DraftKings likes this over. DraftKings, BetMGM, and PointsBet all see identical lines, where Caesars does have it a little higher. It's very difficult to make a case for the under on this one because the data does not support the under. But if you believe that he will come back down to earth at some point, then that might be all you need to take the under on this one. Mixed results with shooting guards and assists. Shooting guards aren't really known for dishing out assists. Point guards, on the other hand, versus San Antonio, faring a little better. This isn't a good spot. Again, if you're superstitious and you're like, nope, I'm not going to touch it, then definitely to stay away from it. Maybe wait for it to get bumped up to 6. Maybe then take the under on that one. But that one's in a good spot. All right, let's take a look at this DeJounte Murray PA, because this one got bumped down. It was such a good play for the under that the books got tired of people hammering the under and decided to bump it down. Now, this is at 34.5. PrizePicks had this at 35.5 for a long time. Now it's caught up. Every other book has it at 34. FanDuel has it at 33. If you really want to play the over on it, find it on FanDuel at 33.5. That's the best line. If you're looking to play the under, it's still got a little juice to the under, but 35.5 was the best line that you're going to find. When we bump this up to 35, we can see that over his last 10 games, he only has a 40% hit rate. Last 5 look better than the last 10, 60% hit rate. His projection today is 37 points and assists, largely due to this matchup against the Hornets. But at minus 130 to the under, I mean, that tells you that this line is a little high. I don't know if BetMGM still has it at 35.5. You can go look for it. The PrizePicks got it bumped down. All right. So DeJounte Murray, let's take a look at Jalen Suggs. Jalen Suggs points at 12.5. Projected for 13. FanDuel has it at 112. Or excuse me, 113. DraftKings likes it at 120. The odds are kind of meh, to be honest with you. There's not a whole lot that says this is heavily favored to the over. They're mixed results. PointsBet has it split. BetMGM likes the under. Caesars does as well, but DraftKings likes the over. FanDuel doesn't know what to do with it. So over his last 4 games, 4 out of the last 5, he's gone over. And then over his last 10 games, he's gone over this in 60% of those games. Head-to-head matchup with the Sacramento Kings. 1 game this season. He went for 24 points. It's a low enough line to where you can play the over on this one. His minutes are there, even in this game where this is not last 5. Here you go. Last 5. His minutes are there. He's getting you almost 30 minutes in a few of these games. This game against Toronto, it may have just been a blowout. But what is he doing in those minutes? He's getting you 6 made shots. He's averaging 10 field goal attempts. He's averaging 50% from the field, basically. It's in a good spot. This should be a good pace-up game for the Magic. Hopefully it stays close. We don't see some lopsided victory. I hate games like that where you have 2 really, really good teams and you're expecting just a good game and it blows out. Like, those are the worst. They're worse than the games that even you expect to blow out because you can at least stay away from those. But this one should be a good game. That one looks good. All right. That was it. 5 up, 5 down. I thought we had 6 players on the board. Did somebody get removed? Bradley Beal, Suggs, DiVincenzo. We looked at Mikal. We looked at Murray. Maybe not. All right. So if you want to still play the under on DeJounte Murray, you can at 34.5. But if you can find it at 35, that is the more favorable line for the under. Otherwise, you're just going to stay away from it. Or maybe take a shot on the over. The matchup is there, though. All right, let's see. What's going on, Divine? Divine says the Raptors players are still out. I don't see them on the injury report yet, so I threw it in a slip. If they're out, they're out. It's not a big deal. But if they're in, then I think Olynyk. I think all those guys' numbers are way too high for today. Also, if Quickly is playing today, or if any changes in the lineup, those lines will bump back. Those lines will come back down. They'll bump them down for sure. All right. Let's see. What's good, Damien? Michik PRA. Michik PRA 21.5. He's getting run. He's getting run in Charlotte, no doubt. It's okay. Only Dick. No. I just say his full name. When I talk about him in the Discord, I just Grady Dick. That's his full name. GD, maybe call him GD. Murray Hawks assist or rebounds and assist. Van Vliet rebounds and assists. All right. Is anybody playing this Isaiah Hartenstein Goblin? Demon, 10.5 points. Has anybody looked at this? Let's look at this one. 20,000 people like it. I'm assuming they like it for the over because you can't play unders on Demon. So 20,000 people are playing this in their slips for the over. Hey, Jalen Suggs. So look, we just talked about his points at 12.5. If you like the over on his points, it's awesome when you can find the Demon and the OG line within 3 points. Because chances are, if you like the over on his 12 points, he's not going to just get you 13. Like, you're hoping for 15, something like that. If he ends up getting you 16 points, then he gets you the over on the Demon. Maybe consider taking a shot on his points. Like with Siakam yesterday. You liked his rebounds at 8. Did anybody play his Demon rebounds? He got 16 rebounds yesterday, 15 rebounds yesterday. He crushed that shit. Look for these discrepancies. Sometimes they're not all that great, but you can find some good ones, especially earlier in the day. They're there. Let's take a look at DeRozan PA or points. DeRozan got kicked out, right? Last game. I don't know what did Dylan Brooks do to him. He's probably talking about his kid or some shit. Pissed him off. Dylan Brooks doesn't give a fuck, man. I wonder if that's just like code in the NBA. Like, you don't talk about people's families. You could talk about anything else. $8.5, man. That's low. We'll find out why it's so low, though. It's low for a reason. $25 in. You got 25 slips in, Damien? Is that what you're talking about? You put in 25 slips already? Holy shit, dude. Let's look at some of these Fred VanVleet lines. Rebounds at 3.5 still? Yep. I like that one. 16.5 points. Maybe. Let's look at his rebounds first. Let's start there, and then we can kind of look at the other lines when we get on props.cash. All right, what do we have here? We got 4 plays on the board. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. We haven't talked about any college basketball today. There's quite a few games today. Mix and match college basketball and NBA should have enough value on the board to make a few slips. There was a rebound prop that I liked. I did throw it on my cheat sheet. Darius Hannah. Was it Darius Hannah? Rebounds? Yes, but it should be over rebounds, not under. All right, let's look at this one. Unless I got bumps. Unless I can spell. Unless I can spell his fucking name. Yeah, it's right there. Okay, so we got 5 plays on the board. We'll look at this Hannah rebound prop first, and then we'll go into... I guess we'll go, we'll just go in order in which they're on the screen. We'll go Micic, Hartenstein, DeRozan, and VanVleet. Let's do it. Let's head over to props.cash round 2 of player props. We typically do 3 rounds of player props on Saturdays. It's a bit more flowy. I just basically look up player props until I don't want to anymore. So we go a little longer on Saturdays. So Darius Hannah rebounds. So projected for 6.69 rebounds today, which is basically 7 rebounds when you round it up. He's gone over this line in 70%, 60% of his last 5. The odds on this one, well, the odds on FanDuel are really weird. Or excuse me, the odds on wait, what odds are these? 137 to 130. What book is that? It's not even on here. Caesars has it at 137, 107. FanDuel does not like the over at all. Consensus does like the over. BetMGM does like the over. DraftKings is undecided. So this one was looking earlier today. I liked it. I put it on cheat sheet, put it in slip. Take a shot on this kid. See what he can do. The two promos yesterday. Well, how many promos did we have yesterday? I think they both hit yesterday. The college basketball promos have been much better than the NBA promos. Let's figure out why Zay Hartenstein is popping today with his points. Projected for 12.85. So that's basically 13 points. He's projected for 13 points. His demon line is 10.5. So he's projected for 3 more than his demon prop. Last 5 games, he put up 20 against Denver. Numbers against Brooklyn. Why is this one getting so much juice to the over? For the demon. 20,000 people are playing the over on this one. Is it because of these 2 games here? Is it because he did this against Jokic, so you know he could do it against anybody? Centers versus the Nets. Brook Lopez went for 17. Miles Turner goes for 11. 15 for Carter. There are not a lot of centers going over their point prop. And I know that the 11 would get it done for Isaiah Hartenstein, but look at the line for Capella. He goes over by 0.5. Let's find another starter. Nick Richards goes over by 4.5. I mean, if he goes over by 4.5 today, he gets the over on his demon. But if he goes over his original line by 0.5, he doesn't get the over on his demon. Obviously, this gets you the over. Miles Turner underperformed. That would get you the over. 2.5 over would get you, well, that would get you 10 today. I don't know about this one. If you're playing this line, let me know why. If you like the over on his points, or you could just be playing it to just give you the payout boost for your slip, you know, trying to maximize your payout boost, not really caring if he hits this or not. You're just using it to up your payout. But it's 20,000 strong. People like it. All right, let's move on. Who else are we going to look at? Micic over PRA. All right. Was this guy even on the Hornets to start the year? It's like the same shit every year for the Hornets. LaMelo Ball gets hurt, misses half a season, comes back the next year, gets hurt, misses half the season. All right. So we're going to look at his PRA today at 21.5 as his line. FanDuel likes the over. DraftKings, see, all these books like the over, but there is a little juice to the under, so it's not clean across the board. Matchup with Atlanta is there. He has gone over this line in 4 of his last 5 games. The matchups are not, I mean, Memphis is a good matchup for him. That Orlando matchup, that's not an easy matchup, and he went over that one. Over his last 10, 60% hit rate. You got to like his minutes because he's just getting more playing time. If we look at the last 30, just the difference, right? You know, this is present. So this is what you're expecting. He's getting you the minutes. He's on the floor. He's seeing opportunities. He can make plays. He's running point. Yeah, this is a good spot for him. That's a good spot for him. At 21.5, you got favorable odds. You got a great matchup. You got positive game logs. You're getting the opportunity. He's not like coming off the bench and only playing 10 minutes in the first half and then sitting back down. And, you know, his rotation is pretty strong. So that's a pretty decent one. You can go over on that one for sure. You could try to correlate this too in the game stack. If you find another Charlotte Hornet that you like, maybe another point prop or something that where they can correlate. If he's going to be dishing out assists, try to figure out the best correlation for that team. All right, let's look at DeRozan and Fred VanVleet. So let's go. What's the next game? All right, just check out DeRozan. DeRozan rebounds and assists, 8.5. It's low, but we'll figure out why it's low. I'm sure the matchup has a lot to do with it. 4 out of his last 5 games, and then he got ejected. I don't know if he was on pace to go over this. I think he got ejected late in the 3rd quarter or early 4th quarter. So if he was at 4 going into the 4th quarter, it wasn't looking all that great for him to get the over. But maybe the ejection didn't have a whole lot to do with this. Maybe he just had a bad game. But over his last 10, he's gone over this in 70%. It looks like when he doesn't hit, he's just stuck on 4. He's just stuck on 4. That's his magic number. But overall, in these games where he's going over, he's getting you, he's averaging well over 10 rebounds and assists. He's projected for 10 today. The matchup with Boston, again, is not the greatest matchup. Let's take a look at what he's done head-to-head. This season, he has 2 games played. He's gone over in 1 and gone under in the other game. The odds are in favor of the over, but slightly in favor on these 4 books, where Caesars is the only one that's giving you more juice to the under. But you're looking at pretty much a coin flip here. Minus 119, minus 115. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of weight to either side. Take a shot on this. It's under 10. It'll probably get bumped up to 9. It's just a little low. I think it's a little low for him. Fred VanVleet. Man, I remember when this dude was stuck behind Lowry and DeRozan in Toronto, and he was getting like the scrub minutes. And he just was like this guy with just a weird ass name. Now he's a household name in NBA. True underdog story. All right, so let's look at his, well, we're on his rebounds and assists. You can look at his rebounds and assists if you like. He's projected for 12.5, basically 12, 13. You can round this up. The odds on his rebounds and assists are great on DraftKings, great on Caesars, great on PointsBet. I'm sure this is already bumped up on PrizePicks. We didn't take a look at it, but if you can find it at 12.5, that looks like a good play. Let's take a look at his rebounds today. So rebounds today, great odds here. We know this is at 3.5 on PrizePicks. You can see the odds are in favor of the over on all 5 of these books. When you take a look at his rebounds over his last 10 games, he's gone over in 60%. He's basically getting you 4 in every game. Numbers against the Utah Jazz today: 1 game, 1 over. That game is the over. These 2 games were played as a Raptor. This is as a Rocket. Favorable odds, positive matchup. I mean, I know they're number 6 in the league at defending rebounds, but they're allowing 42. We're not asking Fred VanVleet to get 43. He needs 4, which I think is in play. All right. 5 up and 5 down. Let's screenshot them. If you're wondering why I screenshot these, I throw them in the Discord in my channel, so that way you can come back and reference those whenever you want, and you know that they've been researched on the stream, so you don't have to worry about doing the research. We've done it for you. And I usually throw those in the Discord after live stream is done. All right. What else we got? What's going on, Sean? Sean Johnson, what's up? Dylan Brooks just came. Okay, he was just being a good teammate. Look at that, man. See, Dylan Brooks is he's an all right guy. He's that guy that you do like having on your team, but you just hate playing against them. All right. Paolo over 19 points on underdog. That's his discount. I have not looked at underdog yet. Let's pull up his points on PrizePicks, but then we'll look at it on props.cash. And we'll see. So yeah. Oh shit. His line on underdog is 18.5. Yeah, so he needs 19. He needs 19 points today to go over that. What's his demon line, or his goblin line is 19.5. So play this on underdog, because PrizePicks is giving you 19.5 for his goblin, which is a decrease in payout. But you can play this on underdog at a full payout for a discount. I mean, this is a really good line. I'm going to throw his points on the board right now. You also have Caitlin Clark at 28.5 points. You have Paige Buchers, 19.5 points, and Jack Golke, 11.5 on underdog. What is going on, Travis? Good morning to you. All right, let's see. I'm gonna look at this Paolo Banchero real quick. Y'all get some plays in the chat. Let's look up some more plays. Let me while you're doing that, I'm just gonna head over to Odd Shopper and just check out a few things and share that with you all. If you need some further insight, I'll share a few different things that I like to look at when I'm on Odd Shopper. Number one is the expert picks. So you're not just gonna find player props. These are player props. These are lines on different books, but you can find them on pick'em sites. You can also find point spreads and things like that. Right now, there's not a whole lot of expert picks. That's fine. We can also check out the PrizePicks optimizer. So PrizePicks optimizer is going to show you all the plays that are grading out plus EV, plus expected value. And this is going to range across whatever sports are up today. You can specify, you can filter by what league you want or what game you want, but also what player prop, what you're looking at. But we're just going to look at it from the high level view here and see DeAndre Hunter, 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists is favored to the under. Sohan's rebounds. There's Grady Dick right there, 22.5. Akbaji, again, 19. I talked about this. If these guys, if this lineup changes, if Quickly's in, I mean, even if they're not in, I mean, these lines are way up. Grady Dick was at 20.5 PRA against the Thunder. I almost called them the Sooners. Now he's at 22.5. One day they're bumped up three points. So it's possible they go over this, but I'm gonna take a shot on the unders because I just think they're a little too high. A better look at the player props will just be the optimizer in general, not specific to any pick'em site, because I like being able to drop down and see all the books that a play is available on. So right now, this DeAndre Hunter PRA line is on 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 books / pick'em sites. Pinnacle, pretty highly regarded book in you know, in the betting wagering world, has it at -148. Sometimes you have a play that's got like 16 books that are playing this, like this one, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 17, 19 different books / pick'em sites are playing this and have it set to the under. When you can see this much data at one time, it gives you a really good look into what's going into making this a good play. Now, Jeremy Sohan did go over rebounds last game. That shit happens every once in a while. I mean, if everything was perfect, like if there was one book out there that was always perfect, you think A, it'd be free, B, it'd be free to the general public, and then C, you think you would be able to afford it? Probably not. That would be at a premium price. So like, there's always room for error in these things, but the more data you have, the better decision you can make, in my opinion. So Kyle Kuzma, I didn't even see this line. I didn't even see it this morning. Under 37.5 points, rebounds, and assists versus Toronto. That seems a little high. All right. We can come back and visit this a little later in the stream. But if there's an actual player prop or a player that you want to search and you just want to shop their lines, we can actually pull them up and just check out what their lines are across the industry. And if you're playing on multiple sites, we can just do that instead of looking at this big ass table. All right. I want to pull up this Kyle Kuzma PRA line. All right, what else we got? Travis, what's up? A recap in terms of all the player props that we went over. Enoch Cheeks, Demon Points. What a name. $11. So this is a good example too. You got his 9.5, and you have 11. That's not too far. That's not too far of a jump, you know. Let's take a look at that one. That might be cool. You want to add that Sohan one, ATM? Travis, we can recap it, but I'll do you one better. So I don't know if you heard this or if you were not in the chat, but in my player prop Discord, I share every single player prop that we talked about. I screenshot every single player prop and I put it in the Discord in my my live player prop channel. That way you can go in there and see every single player prop we talked about, and it's been researched already, and you can use that as a reference. And that way it's just always there for you, so that you don't have to worry, oh, what did he say? Or wait, can you repeat that? But yeah, you can find that in the Discord. It's available to everybody. We haven't done plays of the day in a long time. We haven't done our plays of the day on the stream in like a week. So if y'all have plays of the day, like one specific play that you like, throw it in the chat, and we can I can throw those in the Discord as well if you have that one particular play that's just standing out to you. All right, so we got the Sohan, we got Kuz. We're gonna check out Boncaro and Enoch Cheeks. How many times do you think that dude has been called Enoch Booty Cheeks in his life? Probably, maybe none, maybe less than I think. But I feel like if he was my friend, I would call him Booty Cheeks all the time. All right. If that was my last name, I'd tell people like it's actually pronounced Shex, not Cheeks. Like Joe Dirt, it's actually Joe Dirte. I'd go all Joe Dirt on him if that was my last name. 5 out of his last 6 games, he's gotten you 12 or more. So 5 out of his last 6 games, he's gotten you the demon points. 7 out of his last 10 games, he's gotten the over, but 6 out of those games, demon points. That's promising. Today, he's projected for just 9 points. Let's look at his numbers. So the odds are not in favor of the over on his normal line of 9.5. Is this a tough matchup for him against Arizona? If you are a college basketball enthusiast, let me know in the chat if this is just a tough matchup for him, because it's March Madness. Teams are going all out. His game logs are there. The upside is there. The odds just aren't there. Imagine when he has a bad day on the court. Yeah, you play like Cheeks today. That's not a compliment. All right. I don't know. I mean, you can definitely take a shot on this one. I mean, the game logs are fantastic. The odds do worry me a little bit just because you're getting like absolutely slaughtered on the under here. There's a little drip of juice to the over though. -110, -111. You are getting a little bit, but you're just not getting as much as you would like if you're looking at the over. Enoch is straight Cheeks. I'm sure they just have a field day with that name. All right. Some of these names, I feel like they're made up. We talked about Isaiah Hartenstein's demon points, Travis. I couldn't figure out why this was popping so hard in terms of the popularity. 20,000 people have this and they're playing the over. You cannot play the under on the demon prop. So 20,000 people are playing the over in their slip. The game logs aren't even all that good, to be honest with you, in terms of him getting you 11 or more. He's just gotten 11 or more in 2 out of his last 10. These are big numbers. Well, that one's a big number. He is projected for 13, which is crazy on a 7.5 point line. That makes me feel like that line should be higher. The odds are what got me though. So minus 140 to go under 8.5. If it's minus 140 to go under 8.5, what would it be to go under 10.5? At 7.5, you're getting positive numbers at 7.5. But if you're playing the demon, he needs 11. So these odds don't correlate with the over. The projections do, but you got some like decision making to do there. Maybe people think he can just get 20 on Brooklyn since he got 20 on Denver. Obviously, that's not how the NBA works. You just don't carry that and just repeat. Otherwise, he'd be an all-star. This one's a little weird to me. But again, if somebody has different insight, let me know in the chat. All right, we talked about Cheeks. We're going to talk about Banchero, Kuz, and Sohan. So on Underdog, there is a promo on Banchero's points at 18.5. Let's look at them at 22.5 and let's see what there is to like, and we'll bring it down to 18.5. I can already tell you now at 18.5 he has a 90% hit rate, but at 22.5 he's only gone over that line for 4 out of his last 10 games, 1 out of his last 5. Numbers against the Sacramento Kings: 43 points against them in January. Quite a bit of time has passed since then, but it's still this season. He is projected for 20 points, which is not good enough for the over on his original line, but that will get you the over on his discounted line on Underdog. The odds actually are not terrible on this. BetMGM likes the over. DraftKings likes the over. Undecided on PointsBet. Undecided on Caesars. Under on FanDuel. So now let's take this down to 18.5. Remember, he has a 90% hit rate at 18.5. To me, this is a great line. %80 hit rate at 18.5. I mean, I don't know how much deep diving you want to do on this one. 80% hit rate. Everything we just said about his 22.5 points. Just double down on that. I mean, you're cutting. I mean, that's just a great discount. Again, projected for 20 at 18.5. He needs 19. That's the over right there. It's all you need. That one is in play. It's better to play that on Underdog than it is the 19.5 on PrizePicks for the pay decrease. Why would you play a play to earn less money? Don't do that. If you don't have an Underdog account, you should honestly just sign up and just play the discounts. They have discounts every day. Just build a bankroll on Underdog and just put $5 in on a 2-pick and just build up your bankroll, because their discounts are sometimes a lot better than PrizePicks. Let's talk about Kuzma versus Toronto. So 37.5 PRA, projected for 34.5. Now his lines on his PRA on FanDuel and PointsBet are at 36.5. FanDuel likes it Doesn't really like it too much. It's even on both sides. PointsBet likes the over slightly, but at 37.5, BetMGM, Caesars, DraftKings all like this for the under. He is projected for 34.5. One game against the Raptors last season. When we look at his last 10 games, yes, that's super fucking impressive. That's very impressive. But that is what's causing his line to keep creeping up. So I think this is the highest his line has been. He needs 38s. 100% hit rate over his last 5 games, 80% hit rate over his last 10. I mean, we looked at his numbers on OddsShopper. The one book that I usually look for first is Pinnacle. They have this at -144 to the under, which that's a monster line. This one, I guarantee you, this one will be bumped down to 37 within the next hour, maybe 2 hours. This one is going to get bumped down. If you think this is too high, play the under at 37.5, but don't play it at 37. Why wait? It's not going to bump up. It's going to bump down. That one looks a little too high. These are fucking crazy numbers. These are crazy numbers. Wait a minute. What did I do here? Okay. Everything I just said about that, water it down. Because I had a filter on that I didn't even know I had a filter on. That's weird. Okay, so over his last 10 games, that looks a lot different. What filter was that? The games they've won by 10? We don't care about that shit. We don't care about that shit. Okay, just overall 10 games. Holy shit, that was weird. Overall, last 10 games, 40% hit rate. How about that? That's a little bit more reasonable. That's way different. 2 out of his last 5, 4 out of his last 10. Minus 144 on Pinnacle. This is going to get bumped down to 37. He's projected for 34. I think that's a good play. When they win by 10. Yeah, that's what we were looking at. What the fuck? How did that get selected? I did not intentionally select that. Call me out in the chat. If y'all see stuff like that, if it just doesn't look right, JDLR, just put JDLR in the chat. Just doesn't look right. And I'll see if there's a filter selected. Sometimes I click on shit by accident. All right, let's look at Sohan's rebounds. Sohan had 6 rebounds at the end of the first quarter. I was so pissed off. I'm like, dude, come on, man. All right, let's just double check. No filter selected. All right. 3 straight games of 9 or more rebounds. Okay, this is at 6.5. Okay, you're getting odds at -130 to the over. When we go down here and we look at the books that have this at 7.5, BetMGM likes it -130 to the under. Caesars likes it at -154 to the under. 125. -154. That's intense. Yes, he's gone over in 3 straight games. Yes, he's gone over in 4 out of 5. Yes, he's gone over in 7 out of 10. Memphis, Dallas, not the toughest teams, okay? Houston, missing some key pieces in the front court. He is projected today for 8 rebounds. You have a decision to make. You can follow the odds. You can follow the books. If you think he's on one, if you think he's just like, man, this guy is just a beast right now, I'm not going to go against him, then you take the over on this one because it's too low if you look at the game logs. But if you just pay attention to the odds and the data, you know, there's a lot of information there. He is a 6 rebound per game guy on the season. So, I mean, he's only gone over this line in 30% of his games. 30%. He's averaging 9 and 8 in his last 5 and 10 games. If you're a believer in regression, then this is a prime candidate for regression. All right. That's it. Who got taken off our board? Banchero, we talked about. Kuz, Cheeks, Sohan. Who else was there? Was it just those 4? I felt like we had one more on the board. Hold on. I didn't like what I saw on Banchero's full game points, but we like the over on the discounted line on Underdog. You have 3 hours and 25 minutes to play that Banchero prop on Underdog if you want to roll that route. Basically 3.5 hours to roll with it. All right. Oh, 27 viewers on the stream. Appreciate y'all being here on a Saturday morning. Appreciate y'all being here. Hit the like button on your way in. Means a ton. Hey, Seuss, good morning. What's going on? Have you talked about Olynyk under his PRA? Yes, kind of. So my theory was that the lines for a few of these Raptors players are inflated for a couple of reasons. Number one, all those guys, Agbaji, Olynyk, Grady Dick, all had really strong games against the OKC Thunder. Also, the Raptors were down their entire starting 5 last game. Like every one of those guys was out. Barnes has been out. Barrett's been out. But Quickly and Trent were ruled out. If Quickly and Trent are back in today, I think you see those lines bump down for those other guys. I think the unders are in play. I think they're a little inflated. And if they're ruled out again, then my slip is sunk. And I'm cool with that. All right, what else we got? Sabonis over 7.5 assists. That is a low line. When I saw that, I thought for sure you were referring to his Goblin line. His Goblin line is 6.5. I mean, let's take a look at it. Murray over Hawks and assists. Thank you, Tamika. Appreciate that. Let's do Murray's assists. I don't know why I do this every time. It's like trying to find Waldo in this bitch. It's like, where's that prop? Where's that prop? Where's that? Especially with all the goblins and demons on the board, it just crowds up the board. All right, Murray on assists at 9, probably at 8.5, right? And they got bumped up to 9. And then 7.5 assists for Sabonis. Damn, that's low. That is really, really low. No fantasy points on the board yet. You know what player prop I was looking at yesterday, and I didn't pull the trigger because it got bumped down, but it was still looking good. Was the LeBron James and Tyrese Maxey point combo under 54.5. It got bumped down to 54, and they finished with 47. I thought that was way too high, and It just felt like every time I was building out a slip, I just like other plays better than that. In hindsight, if I would have put that in my slips instead of Paul George, I would have cashed a couple of 25x plays. But that one was way inflated. I mean, 55 points for those guys. These combo props, if you just do the research on these, you might find a little bit of a discrepancy in the market. Like out of these 4 combo props, you know, that one is standing out to me. The 47.5 for Boncaro. We just talked about not liking the over on his full game line. If he got you 21 points, that means Fox would have to get you 27. We could take a look at that one. Jamal, what's going on, man? Putting a nice seven leg parlay together. Put another leg on there. Build a spider, man. Hey, Sue says Jack Golke is discounted right now on PrizePicks. Is he? So Jack Golke is at 9.5 on PrizePicks, and he is at check this shit out. So PrizePicks is like, hey, underdog, fuck your 11.5 points on Golke. We're gonna undercut you and give it to 9. Give it at 9.5. Now, what underdog needs to do is say, oh yeah, and they just keep going back and forth, and then we just build out multiple slips on these promos and we make money today. That's what they need to do. That is what they need to do. So obviously this is a much better line than 11.5 on underdog. So you would more than likely play the over on this one. And then you would play the over at 18.5 points for Boncaro on underdog and just build out slips like that. That's kind of cool. Jesus says, I'm taking Sabonis, Demon, and regular assist line. I'm going to throw them in multiple slips. Nice. All right, we got some plays to look at. So let's check out this Murray play, this Sabonis play, and we'll also take a look at Sabonis Demon assist at 9.5. And then we can take a look at the under on this Boncaro Fox. Maybe after looking at it, you say, hey, that's an over. And then we'll take a look at the Golke point prop. I tell you what, let's look at the Golke first, because that's the only college basketball player we have in this little slip here. Let's get rid of cheeks. So 9.5 points is his line. 13.5 is his original line. 3 straight games. I mean, obviously, if he gets you 32 points, it's no sweat at all. Let's bring this down. Well, first of all, let's look at his odds. Okay, so right now he is projected for 11, basically 12 points. That gets you over his underdog promo and his PrizePicks promo. At 13.5, the odds do not look all that great, but we're not playing it at 13.5. We're playing it at 11.5 and 9.5. So let's bring this down to 11.5 first. That's the underdog promo. Play them both. Or not. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I think both of those are in play. PrizePicks definitely has the better line. All right, so he's gone under 11.5 in 80% of his last games. Last 10, he's gone over in 80% of his last 5. It's going to be the same percentage for 9.5, because that game is the only game where he didn't get you at least 10. So he just missed it by 1 game. So nothing changes with his game logs. It's just easier to score 10 points than it is 12. Especially when you're seeing odds or projections in favor of the over. These odds are not great, but at 9.5 and 11.5, I promise you that they flip. Instead of seeing -120 to the under, you're going to see -120 to the over. They're just going to shift. Play them both. Herschel Walker Jr. What's up? He was such a beast, man. Herschel Walker is a beast. He still is a beast. He's like 70 years old and he's like competing in MMA. I don't know if he's 70, but he's definitely he's not a young buck anymore. Why did I select NFL? All right. Let's check out some bonus assist props. If you're new to the stream, hit that like button on your way in. Means a ton. If you're new to the stream, also let me know in the chat it's your first time here, or if it's your first time in the chat, and I'll prioritize your player question. But if you lie, then the chat will call you out because they know everything. So Sabonis's assists. Okay, we're getting a 7.5 assist prop for him. He's only projected for 7. The odds on these 7.5 are not great. Not good at all. The matchup with Orlando is also probably one of the worst in the NBA. He has gone over his assist line in 60% of his last 10, only 40% of his last 5. Now, his matchup with Orlando today, he has one game this year where he did get you 12 assists. So this makes the demon a lot riskier. Obviously, you know, demons are not always, well, demons are never out there for you. They're there to derail you a little bit, because the odds are never going to be in favor of the over with the demons. Otherwise, the original line will be bumped up. When we take a look at what centers and what power forwards have done versus Orlando, not going to see really big numbers for these guys because power forwards typically don't have big assist numbers. But just looking at what we're over the last 3 weeks or so, very few centers have gone over their line, let alone gone over 7. When we take a look at what centers have done, we see that they're a little better, right? But again, Sabonis's assists are point guard assist numbers. So looking at what centers have done don't really help us. Let's look at what point guards have done versus Orlando. They just do a really good job of shutting that down. There are not too many positive checks here at all. That's a little surprising to me. I knew they were a good defense. I didn't really dig into how they're defending the assist game over game. Pretty damn good. That one looks a little scarier now. Obviously, if you play the demon, throw it in a flex, use it for a payout boost. Even if it doesn't hit, your whole slip does get a payout boost if your other plays hit. You can leverage it like that if you want to. If you threw this one and Goki's, does Goki have a demon? We all have demons. His demon today, 15.5 points. Oof. That's a big number. That's a big number. I mean, you can try it. You could try his 15.5 points if you want to, but I was gonna say if you threw the Sabonis assist demon in there and the Goki point demon in there, you can create a pretty damn good payout boost. You would need one of them to hit for you to maximize that, but That would probably be like a 40x, maybe a 35x. But it's a bonus. Yeah, I know. We always talk about, listen, with the bonus, you either play the over or you just stay away. I mean, how many times have we seen his RA 20 and a half, 21 and a half? The equivalent of that in MLB would be like if you see a player that has a 2.5 home run line, you're like, fuck that. I'm not playing the over on a 2.5 home run line. And Aaron Judge goes out there and hits 3 home runs, and you're like, damn. Is it probable? Yes. Is it likely? No. And that's the bonus. All his lines are always probable. Is it likely to happen? Nah. 22, 23, you would be like, nah. But it just happens. So you either stay away from it or you play the over. He's earned that. He's earned that where you just like take the over on this shit despite the odds, or you just stay away from it. I've been burned by him a few times where I just said, fuck it. I'm not gonna play his lines anymore, man. That dude is too good. But this matchup against Orlando is obviously very tough on the assist. So I'm not too sure about that one. I'm not sure what to think about Sabonis demon line. Let's look at this combo though. Point prop for Fox and Banchero. So we already looked at Banchero's points today. We like the over on his promo at 18.5, but 22.5 is a big number. So really what we're looking for is under 47.5. These guys can score 47 points all day long. I don't care. They need to score 48 combined. When you take a look at his points projected today, he's projected for 21. Let's take a look at what Fox is projected for. So De'Aaron Fox has a 25.5 point prop today. He needs 26 to get over. Fox is projected for 24. So 24 plus 21 is 45, right? Simple way to do it. Obviously, it doesn't always add up to that. It's possible Fox goes up for 30. But based off the projections we're seeing, it doesn't look like it's a high scoring day for him. When you take a look at the odds, even at 24.5, there is slight juice to the under. At 25.5, it's more juice to the under. If Fox were to get you 25 and Banchero got you 21, that's still just 46 points. So again, Fox can get you 26 points and Banchero can get you 21. That gives you 47. There are a lot of ways this can play out. I think the 47.5 is a little high. It's probably going to get bumped down to 47 on the dot at some point. That one is in play. If this is a tough matchup for Sabonis, then it's also a tough matchup for De'Aaron Fox, because Orlando's defense is a tough matchup in general. Fox on the road, slightly better. I mean, he does have games like this, but then he does give you 15 and 19. There are a lot of games like that he has. All right, let's look at this DeJounte Murray assist at 9. He is projected for 9. At 8.5, this one was, I mean, these odds are telling you that 10 assists, well, maybe not this one, but these 140, 145, all across the board at 145, these odds are telling you that 10 assists is probably in play. Like 10 assists is in range. Minus 145 isn't just saying he's going to go over his line. That's saying he's going to go over his line by a couple. Minus 130, minus 128, that's like, okay, 9. This is saying 10. If you believe he gets you 10, then you still play the over at 9. 4 straight games of 9 or more. Let's bump this up to 9. He's pushed in 2 games. He's gone over in 5. He's gone under in 3. There is no sweat. He either gets it or he doesn't. Not even close. Head-to-head games versus Charlotte, really bad. Why is he so bad against Charlotte? I don't know. 2 games this year, obviously, Trae Young is involved in some of these games. Without Trae Young, let's see what that looks like. Ta-da! Disappears. All these games are played without Trae. It's in play. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you could also look at it from the angle of this is a blowout. He is not going to get his run and whatnot, but the numbers are the numbers. The data is the data. This is in play. Find it at 8.5 if you can still play it at 8.5, and then go play it at 9. Always play the lower line first. All right. I'm not gonna lie, that's a bonus line looks really scary, man. I'm gonna take the goblin off, the demon off this because I don't want to screenshot that. But man, that 7.5 assists looks really scary. I will say this though, it looks scary at 7.5. You might as well just play the over on 9.5 and try to go for the increased payout. It doesn't make sense to play a prop that's favored to go under at no payout boost. If you're gonna play it and it's already risky, just play the higher line and try to make more money. That's what I would do. So actually, you know what? Let's what I would say is if you could, play the under on this demon, that would be awesome. But PrizePicks is too smart for that. So we got the over on DeJounte Murray. We got the under on Fox and Boncaro. We got the over on Goki. And you're going to take a shot on this one. You're going to take a shot with Sabonis over. He needs to get you 10. If you were to play these four right here, the Sabonis Demon increases your payout from 5x to 13x. If you went power play on this one, look at that shit. This is what a demon prop can do for you. Let's throw Bradley Beal in there, like another normal line. So your typical 5 pick slip is going to get you a 10x. This is getting you a 24x. Sabonis doesn't even need to hit this line for you to get a payout boost, because if he doesn't hit and the other four do, you're getting a 0.5 increase. It's not bad. All right. Jesus says, tough matchup, but that's my guy. Hopefully he pulls through. Just play his demon line, right? Play his demon line and go for that increase. All right. What's up, Dante? Good morning. Josh Hart under rebounds. Ooh. Have we talked about Josh Hart? I saw a comment. Who called for Josh Hart triple-double? MIC. Does that stand for man in charge? What does that stand for? Do I want to know? Now, Josh Hart rebounds got bumped up from 10.5 to 11. So that's interesting, because if you liked the under at 10.5, I see you, Divine. If you like the under, at 10.5, then you gotta like the under at 11, because now he needs 12. That New York Brooklyn game starts in about 50 minutes. So if you haven't put any plays in yet, make sure you don't miss out. That Saturday is really early tip off. Really early tip off. So make sure you are up to date on all that. Josh Hart. Now, if Josh Hart's rebounds are at 4.5, I mean, we put that in every slip. So again, his original line was 10.5. This was man, if this got bumped up to 11.5, I would. That's an under all day because those odds are so inflated, or the line is so inflated, but the odds are just like hammering the under. At 10.5, they like the over slightly, but at 11, it's gonna shift a little bit. At 11, Josh Hart has gone over this in 3, 4, 5 games. He's gone under in 3. He's pushed it in 2. The matchup today versus Brooklyn, he's got 2 games this season, 1 up and 1 down. So really doesn't tell you a whole lot there. Even his average doesn't give you 11. So if you just went by the average, 9, that's 9 rebounds. Obviously, that's a really blanket way to do it, but he needs 12 rebounds. We can also check out what is he, a small forward? Small forwards versus Brooklyn. If you're calling for the Josh Hart triple-double, maybe you stay away from the under on his rebounds, but it's still possible for him to get you a triple-double and not go over rebound prop. He can get you 10 rebounds and fall under 11 and get you a triple-double. Like, that's still, I mean, we've seen Jokic get you 10, 10, and 10 and go under PRA, go under fantasy points, but get you a triple-double. You don't have to have 30, 20, and 20 every game. Small forwards against the Nets, Najee Marshall, like these rebounding numbers, Josh Hart's rebounding props are like power forward rebounding props. So it's not even fair to compare him to small forwards. Giannis doesn't go over his line. Wembanyama crushes his line. Siakam crushes his line. Not too many others. Centers, like, I mean, you're talking about double-digit boards for a shooting guard, for a wing. Jared Allen. I mean, his rebounding props are really hard to compare to other small forwards because you're not seeing those types of lines. I mean, he's up there with Jalen Duren and Clint Capella and Jokic with those rebounding lines. Let's look at Franz Wagner. Not rebounds. What are we looking at? Points. 18.5. He has no projection. Oh, it's at 18 on the dots. He has no projection today. Let's figure out why. So at 18, he has pushed in 1 game out of his last 5. He's gone over 2. And that's it. He's kind of in a slump. He's averaging 20 points on the year, but over the last 10 and 5 games, that's way under. Pace up game for the Magic, but man, how many shots has he taken? His minutes are fine. They're a little down, but he's still averaging 30. He's 13 shots per game. He's making 6. That's not a lot. He needs to get hot from 3, or he needs to just have a really big first half or something like that. He's averaging 10, 11 points in the first half. And he's just doing Jason Tatum shit. He's just like disappearing in the second half. He's the Jason Tatum of the South. You need him to have a complete game. That's interesting. I didn't realize his second half was that different. Let's take a look at AO Sumu's threes. Oh, the Discord is so tired of AO. I got like 2 of his rookie autographs. I need him to have a good career so I can flip these fucking cards, but he's so up and down, man. I was on his fantasy points for a while because he was doing a lot, blocks and steals. But man, look at these points, man. This is ridiculous. What the hell, man? All right, so his 3-pointers are 1.5. He's gone over this in 3 straight, 6 out of his last 10. Numbers against Boston, not the best. However, you know, these games back in 2022, that's an old ass game, but that's not his role now. That's not the role he's in today. So it doesn't really help us to look at those old game logs. The last 3 he's gone over. He's projected for basically 2.5. So round that down to 2. He only needs 2. The odds look really good for him. If you're getting this at 1.5, then it's playable across the board. I like this play even more if Drew Holiday is ruled out again. It's at 1.5 on PrizePicks. You could even try to double down on this one and take the over on his point prop and the over on his 3-pointers if you wanted to roll that route. You know, because they correlate. But if you just want to play it a little safer, just maybe just the 3s on that one. We just did Wagner's points, Divine. We just talked about his points at 18. Let's look at DeJounte. We've looked at everything for DeJounte. We've looked at his assists. We've looked at his PA. We're going to look at his points now. All right, let's take a look at his points. 25.5. So these have been bumped up. Projected for 29 points today versus Charlotte. So at 25.5, DraftKings favoring the under, Caesars slightly favoring the under, BetMGM undecided. At 24.5, it was getting better odds, but not that great. I mean, these odds are just kind of like, eh. You can't deny the matchup is there. We know the matchup is good. 40% hit rate in his last 10. He's either crushing his line or not even close. Okay. 4 games, he's gotten you 40, 40, 33, and 29. He's averaging over 35 points in these games. Then he's getting you 20 or less. Like, so there is no in between with this guy. I wouldn't be surprised if he sat today, to be honest. He's not on an injury report, but we've seen shit like this happen where teams don't need their full lineup to win or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if he sat today. But I wouldn't say his points are a slam dunk at 25.5. What's up, Shy? You're late? A little bit. A little bit. Divine says, I'm used to taking Fox at 27.5 and Sabonis assist at 8.5, 9. So I'm fine with this. They need, yeah. You are getting a discount on their lines because of the matchup. No doubt. Jahali McCaskill. I took the over on Hart rebounds. Going to make me or break me. You got it at 10.5 or 11 on his rebounds. I know it would be a payout decrease. I think obviously 19.5 is in play, like really, really in play. I think like there's a really good chance that he gets you like 22, 23 points today. That to me is a really safe line. What you could do, something I do every once in a while, is I'll build a slip with 4 goblins and 2 demons or 1 demon. It is a payout decrease, however, the upside is there. Like, it's a high floor slip. And you just use that demon to balance out the pay so that it's not so watered down. You could try something like that with his points today. Like his points and Fran's points at 14.5. And maybe throw in, like if you play this, yeah, it's a 5x, which is 5x lower than the 10x payout. It's a super, super watered down payout. But I mean, you're locking in some, well, we couldn't play both Wagner's points in there, but you're locking in some pretty high floor plays with these 3. And then you have good old Jack Golki over here. Throw that one in there. You got 4 high floor plays with Desumu, Murray, Wagner, and Golki. Maybe take one of these out and put in a demon and lock it up and see if you can get that. And if you can't, then at least you're locking in some value with these guys. All right, let me screenshot these. Man, that matchup with Sacramento is a good matchup. I'm a little undecided on Wagner, but I'm going to leave it at under or at over. All right, let's see. What's up, Keith? What do you think about Grayson Allen PRA? Grayson Allen he's playing like this is his team now. The dude can't miss. Let's see. Grayson Allen over PRA. I can tell you that he's probably not going to have good odds. I haven't even looked at this. But every time I feel like every time I do look at his PRA, the odds are never in favor. And then he goes out and does the opposite. So that guy is defying. He's literally defying the odds. 20.5. Yeah, I mean, you got one book that likes the over. These 2 books are pretty similar, but then you have DraftKings and PointsBet that are split, and FanDuel is slightly in favor of the over. Even with these 2 liking the over, you're still getting -115 to the under. So these aren't like clean sweeps. His projection today is 25.7. The matchup with San Antonio obviously is a good one. I would not be surprised either if we saw somebody from Phoenix. Phoenix needs to win. San Antonio has been playing tougher lately. I don't know if you can afford to rest anybody versus San Antonio on the road. Yes, they're a way better team than San Antonio, but San Antonio is that team that you fuck around and find out. Like if you take them too lightly, you can drop a game here and there. So I don't know if they rest anybody, but they should handle this team. If they rested somebody, obviously Grayson Allen's numbers would get bumped up. 2 games this season versus San Antonio, he's averaging 51. So he's averaging 25 PRA in those games. When you look at his projection at 25, that's probably baked into it. 51 PRA divided by 2 is 25.5. That's probably baked into that projection. Then his last 10 games, he's gone over in 3 out of 5, and in 5 out of 10. Very close in these games. Like, he's giving you that hook in these 2 games. He's pretty close. Yeah, you could definitely take a shot on this one and flex it. His projection for points, 13.5 is his line. He's projected for 18. His line is 14.5. His fantasy score is 26. Let's look at his fantasy score. Let's look at this. Let's break this down real quick. So over his last 5 games, we'll just do a real high level view of the fantasy score. So he's averaging 21 points in these games. Like, you're not going to get 32 points out of him every game. But that is impressive. Like, let's nerf this down a little bit. Let's be conservative with this. All right, let's say he got you even 18 points is a lot, man. Let's say he got you 14 points today. Let's say Grayson Allen went out there and got you 14 points, okay? His rebounds over his last 5 games, 3. I think that's pretty consistent. That's 17.6. His assist, pretty strong, right? He's averaging 4. That would be, let's say he got you 3. That's 4.5. That's 21. That's like roughly 22 points. And then steals and blocks, 22, 25. Let's say he got you 2. That's 28 fantasy points right there. Then you take away his turnovers. That's 26. That's like 26.1, 26.2 with 2 turnovers. His fantasy score is 26, and that's an over by 0.2. And we really watered down his points today. If he goes off for 15 or more, I think he shatters his fantasy score. I think that one's in play. If you don't like his PRA, I think his fantasy score is in play. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot. He's contributing in assists and steals and blocks. I think that one's in play. So you can maybe look to both of these or just one of them. Pro Reactor, what is going on? Good morning. Ryan Nimhard, rebounds and assists. That's little brother, right? Ryan Nimhard, rebounds and assists at 11. Links, what's up? Links likes Nimhard assists. Also check out Armando Bacon at 13.5 points. All right, let me screenshot these because we just talked about. Did I already screenshot these? First game tips off in like 30 minutes. So if you're still building out slips, or you haven't built your slips, make sure you get those in if you're playing that New York Brooklyn game. Divine, you say you didn't hear any of your player props? Literally talked about Murray's points. We talked about Wagner's points. I literally talked about all your player props, man. Let's see, points at 13.5. Let's look these up real quick. Let's look up Nimhard and let's look up PIKKIT. So we're looking at rebounds and assists for Nimhard. 11.31. No juice to the under on these. Both of these are over. on consensus and DraftKings. Gone. Wow. Oh my God. But they're at 11, right? They're at 11 right now. So let's move this up. It only impacts one game where he's pushed and gone way over in 9 straight games. This is really impressive. This feels like one of those where you just ride the prop until the wheels fall off. This is really impressive, and it's not a risky or like irresponsible play because you do have projections to back it up, as well as the odds that are even at 11. These will still be in favor of the over. Yeah, that one looks solid. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to dig into on that one. No need to make it more difficult. Life's difficult enough. Back it, bake it, fake it till you make it. 13.5 points is his line today. He's projected for 15 at 13.5. It's still at 13.5 on PrizePicks. At 13.5, Caesars, consensus, and DraftKings all like the over, where Caesars is giving you unanimous odds in favor of the over at -130. Well, no, that's a little minus sign right there. So a little bit of juice to the under. Still, the favor is the over. Projected for 16 points today. 4 straight games of going over with 14 or more. It looks good. Looks good. Looks good for sure. All right. Just realized I didn't have the screen on. Let me run through that again real quick. Point prop for Armando Bacao looks good. 16-point projection, 4 straight games over. 13.5 is a strong line. Caesars, consensus, DraftKings all like the over on this one. And then Ryan Nimhard. All right, he's gone over his RA in 10 straight at 10.5. This has been bumped up to 11. He's gone over in 9 straight and pushed. He has yet to go under this line. You can look at it that way. He has yet to go under this line. Projected for 11.31. Positive odds in favor of the over. When it gets bumped up to 11, you'll still see odds in favor of the over, just not as great as these, but it's still positive. I mean, again, you ride this one until the wheels fall off. I mean, there's very little to dislike about both of those player props. So you can throw them in your flex and just enjoy the games. Enjoy March Madness. This shit's been fun so far. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to round this up. So Grayson Allen PRA does look good, but I do also like the fantasy point prop at 26. We did a very, very conservative build for his fantasy score, and we liked it. Let me see if I can redo that screenshot. That's so tiny. All right. Yeah, we did a very conservative build for his fantasy score, and it still came out for the over. Doesn't matter if they go over by 0.1. Who gives a shit? As long as they go over. That one's in play. So we covered, I don't even know how many player props we covered today. Like 50 player props. Hit that like button on your way out if you haven't done so. If you didn't get a question in the chat, maybe next time. Maybe next time. No live stream tomorrow. Sundays, no live stream here on the channel. We'll be back to almost said tomorrow. We'll be back Monday with a player prop talk live stream, 9 a.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. 9:30 on Saturdays. I schedule these out in advance, so if you have your notifications turned on, then you'll be up to speed on everything. Consider subbing up to the channel. Hit those notifications if you haven't yet. Drop a like on your way out, enjoy the games. Enjoy today. We got NBA. We have March Madness. A lot of basketball to watch. Enjoy the day. I hope all of your player props respect the damn coin. If you haven't checked out the Discord, be sure to drop by where I'll be sharing all the player props that we discussed in today's live stream, along with my slips. Tons of information in there that you can use to your advantage. So make sure you check that out. Again, I'll be back Monday, 9 a.m. with another live stream player prop talk. Until that live stream, have a great day, and Chavez is out.